E aí, pessoal, tudo bem? Aqui é o Ivan trazendo para vocês mais uma entrevista muito legal. Uma entrevista com Ian Martin Allison, um dos apresentadores, dos hosts dos programas do SBL. Ele também é produtor, ele é professor no SBL. O que é o SBL, Ivan? Todo mundo conhece aí. Quem é baixista conhece o canal daquele careca em inglês, que tem um inglês difícil de entender, porque ele é de Leeds, uma região lá da Inglaterra que tem um sotacão difícil pra caramba. Mas o Ian, ele é americano e ele é careca, igual o Scott, né? Daí que vem o nome Scott Bass Lessons, né? SBL, que é um baita de um canal, uma escola de música de contrabaixo muito, muito boa. Eu nunca tive grana para bancar, e tempo também para estudar, todo o investimento, infelizmente, mas eu recomendo vocês conhecerem porque tem muito conteúdo. O próprio canal do YouTube já tem conteúdo pra caramba, então eu recomendo vocês conhecerem. Entrei em contato com ele, ele topou imediatamente bater esse papo comigo. Eu estava no Paraná, viajando, num aeroporto, fiz a entrevista do aeroporto, que foi quando eu consegui encaixar os nossos horários, e deu super certo, ele foi muito legal, um bate-papo, porra, descontraído, assim, ó, ficou engatado pra gente conversar mais vezes e sempre produzir conteúdo em português. Então se liga, tem legenda em português, às vezes as legendas estão erradas, porque eu não tenho tempo de corrigir tintim por tintim, mas eu tento fazer o melhor, mas dá pra ouvir, se joga, escuta, bota fone de ouvido, que tem muita informação legal nesse bate-papo, tá bom? Acho que vale um joinha, né? Vale também você se tornar membro, por R$ 2,99 por mês, você se torna membro aqui do canal do Baixos e Baixarias, tá? É isso aí, cala a boca, Ivan, e vamos ver o vídeo.
I'd love to go. I'd love to.
Yeah, that's something we have to arrange, right?
Oh my God, man! Anytime it would be
Let's
my
let's
honor.
ask Scott for some money to bring you down here to Brazil.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm into that. I
Yeah,
would
you
love to
you know
visit.
his video about Brazilian bass players going
Yes.
wild. It was a huge thing here. I'm one of the moderators at the Brazilian Bass Forum for
Yes.
14 years, and we love this video because there's so many great bass players down here in Brazil with because Brazil is really huge. So
Of
we have
course.
regional musical influences that that give that gives the each artist different backgrounds and
Yeah.
styles. You know, it's so rich, you know, culturally. So
Oh,
normally here in
yeah.
Brazil, we don't know Brazil at all. The Brazilians. I have traveled a lot to Europe. I never been to the U.S., but I have traveled a lot to Europe. So, but I know more Europe than Brazil. You know.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I watched that video too. That was, I think he put that out right before I joined SBL. And I mean, I was hip to a lot of amazing people. And whenever I see like Junior show up on my feed, like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just ferocious. There is ferocity down in Brazil, man. I mean, you guys are killing it. So I just feel like I'm always just playing catch up.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you for having some time to talk with me
My
and my
pleasure.
audience. You know, as I mentioned, I've been working as a moderator at the Brazilian Based Forum. We have more than 30,000 subscribers. You know,
Sure.
and about 2 years ago during the pandemics, and I was trying to find things to don't get crazy being locked down at home
Yes.
with my two kids. So
Oh, I
so I
know.
started to record videos about basses and gear, and this became a little monster to hear that I have to nurture. And
Incredible. Incredible. Good for you, man,
and
making that
then and
total pivot.
because I speak English and I decided to make interviews with people from all over the world and to bring this content to the Brazilian bass players and musicians who are interested and make it accessible. So I always put subtitles You know, for example, last Monday I interviewed Warren Hewart, a huge producer
Yeah, of course.
from Produce Like a Pro. He found some time to talk with me, and we talked about bass recordings, bass
Ah, very
influences.
good.
Why getting Billy Sheehan on a track or other bass player more technical studio session musician, and his opinion about that. It was really great, and you were in the top of my list because you know it's so great to see your video. You are a natural communicator. You know, this is so
Thank you,
great. You
man.
know, Scott made a huge move hiring you. You know, because
We have fun. We have
yeah,
a lot of fun together. Yeah.
yeah, especially because sometimes his accent's a little bit hard to get.
It is for me too sometimes. Yeah. I go over there and hang out with him and and we always just have such a blast together. We're exactly the same age. We've had a lot of similarities in our upbringing, similar likes and dislikes, and he's a blast to talk to. Yeah, but I mean, I learn a lot about accent and culture and everything when I go over there. You think, oh, it's an English speaking country. It'll be the same. It's very different. It's very different, and it's a blast. I love getting to know that side of him. The UK side.
Yeah, and I was talking to Warren and how much the music rock and music scene from the late 70s and the 80s changed the bass guitar. You know,
Sure.
when you think about all this punk rock and the progressive rock groups from the UK, how they changed the bass lines from Genesis, Yes, and how this had a huge influence. For example, in the other side of the ocean in Canada, and for Rush, you had to
Of
listen to
course.
Yes and Joe Po Jones. So how did the bass arrive in your life? It was a something that you pursued, or was or is just hey,
Um,
so we have too many
I'll
guitar
tell you
players
this.
here. Please get the bass.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you. I've told this story once or twice, but basically I was a kid. I was really tall, really young. So I'm 6'3", and I think I was 6 feet tall in the seventh grade. And so when I was like 13, I was really tall and I got recruited on the basketball team, right? But I was terrible at basketball. Terrible. I was tall, but it didn't mean I was good, right? But I just didn't have anything yet. And there was a moment where my whole family was in town watching a game, right? So my cool uncle, my mom, my dad, my sister, they were all in the stands. And I found myself with the ball and I was like, oh my God, this is my moment. I was born for this. And I took a shot and I miss. And then I get the rebound and I was like, oh my God, I have a second opportunity. And I threw the ball up again and I missed a second time. And I get the ball again and I'm hearing the crowd screaming and roaring. And I think they're saying like,
Pass
yeah, yeah,
the
like,
fucking
yeah,
ball.
yeah. And I threw a third shot and it bricked again. I missed three times. And then a guy from the other team grabbed it and swiftly, just dropped it into the basket and was like, thanks. And I realized the entire time that I was shooting at the wrong basket, right? And I looked
Ooh.
up into the stands and my entire family, Ivan, was just like this.
Oh my God.
And so it was after that I
What a
came to my
trauma.
mother. Oh my God, such trauma. My team hated me, the whole thing. And I came to my mom and I said, I can't do this anymore. And she said, well, you have to do something. And I really wanted to play drums, and that was not because we were in this little tiny house. She said, no way.
No
And I said,
way.
okay. Then I had a cousin and an uncle that played the bass. I said, could I try that? And she said, yeah, you could try that. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I mean, if it wasn't day one, it was day two. We rented a little Harmony bass. It was like a red P bass with a black pickguard. I'll never forget it. I think it was Harmony that made it. And I just absolutely fell in love. So for me, it gave me a ton of identity. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know who I was. I was awkward. I was the big kid. And it was the thing that
Clumsy. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like a puppy with just big paws, big feet. And And so it gave me this identity and helped me really figure out what I wanted to do. And I mean, man, honestly, from about 13 on, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do.
That's great because for me it was kind of the same. Of course, not basketball, but with soccer, with football,
Sure.
because
Yes.
I remember that when I think it was in Rush documentary, the Rush film, and Neil Peart said that for him, his life was his adolescence was horrible because he was this weirdo kid who could not skate, and if you cannot skate in Canada, you're dead. It's just like me for football here.
Yes.
I have a 11 and a half foot, and this is impossible to kick a ball properly. So when I got the bass guitar, and I had some proficiency in guitar, and then I got the bass guitar, and that's what I want. I don't want to be another guitar player, and I was on Iron Maiden, Rush, and kind of stuff, and that's what I like, And,
Oh, I love it. I love that
it's
stuff
important
too.
how music sometimes make this big change in our self-esteem, isn't it? Right?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Self-esteem, identity, the whole thing where it's like, oh, this is what I want to do. I thought about it every day at school. I would run home to play. I mean, I was just in from a very early age. I was really excited about it.
And then you decided to, okay, we'll do this professionally. You started on bands.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I grew up in this little town in Montana, and I met some kids that were a little older than I was. A great guitar player named Dave Young. We still make music together, and he was
You
15.
still live in Montana?
No, I live in Minnesota now. So
Okay.
I'm in the central, sort of central north of
Yeah.
the US, in Minneapolis, where Prince,
Yeah.
was born and raised. But yeah, I was out west in the Rocky Mountains in Montana and met this guy who was 2 years older than I was. He was 15 and I was 13. And that age dynamic is, if someone's 15 and you're 13, they're so cool, and he taught me a lot. He was a guitar player, and he was like, man, when we graduate high school, we're moving out to Minneapolis and we're going to be in a band. And I was like, great. And that's what we did. And we're still friends. And we did do that band. And, we had big aspirations to take over the world with rock. And, we of course didn't do that, but we took over a couple of little areas. We played some great shows. That band was called Down and Above. And we had a great time. We occasionally play still, but then we went off to do our own things. But yeah, I mean, I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I was 13.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, Warren. Since I talked to Warren last Monday, his interview is a little bit fresh, but he said, I just wanted to be like Brian May."
Yeah, that's a cool influence. Brian May, that's a good call.
In fact,
Yeah.
his father built his guitar for him, just like Brian May's father.
Oh, so cool. Oh my God. Well, I just want to be like John Deacon, man. I mean, I love John Deacon's playing. I wish I've heard
But
that
you
he's
have
the
to
guy
wear
that,
his shorts. I want to see this
Nobody.
huge Viking as I heard your boss telling, yeah, he's like a Viking, Six feet, wearing John Deacon's Adidas
Oh my
shorts.
God. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody is going to be excited about that. Oh man. Yeah. We'll keep the shorts in the closet. It's all good.
Close to the P base, or just for another what bites the dust, okay?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. That's
Together
right.
with the Music Man. Yeah. Talking about Music Man, why do you hate Music Man so much? Oh, I know that's.
Oh man, no, I don't hate Music Man at all. In fact, I've got a '79 Stingray back there.
It's my year of birth. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I was just a year in front of you then. I'm 78, but yeah, I have I've got a bunch of bass guitars. I've got a '79 Stingray. Here's a thing for Music Man that I like. I love Tony Levin. I love Gail Ann Dorsey's playing. There's Stingray players that I absolutely admire and think sound so good. Tim Comerford, that first Rage Against the Machine record. I know there are others, but Flea, obviously. But whenever I play it, I can't. It sounds really good to me in a bedroom setting, but then I can't quite get it to speak live in a way that I want it to. I don't know, I got so used to a jazz bass so early.
Yeah, me too, me too.
And I love a jazz bass neck pickup. It's like my favorite sound ever. Or just the bridge pickup rolled off a touch. God, it's somewhere in between a jazz and a P, and I love it. And the Music Man is such a hard sound for me to figure out how to fit into things. If I'm trying to ape Tony Levin or I'm trying to do the Tim Comerford thing with a bunch of drive for rage, then it feels like I know what to do. But for the stuff that I do, I'm never drawn to that
Yeah,
instrument. Um,
I understand what you're saying. It's not your
yeah.
sound.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it isn't quite, but it's a really incredible
yeah,
sound.
of
It's a
course it
thumbprint
is.
sound. And when I hear other people use it, I'm like, hell yeah, I love it. But for me, I struggle. I struggle to like figure out how to use it for me.
Yeah, and for example, the P bass. Okay, P bass. It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's perfect. But I need this neck pickup, this bridge pickup. You know,
Oh, sure.
I
Okay.
need this. This nasal.
Yeah.
You know,
You love
my
that.
go-to bass is a.
Yes.
I have a '98 uh, Fender Getaway signature.
Oh, yeah.
Japanese.
Great
Oh,
bass.
the neck so thin. I never got it.
Yes. Right.
It's
Yep.
so smooth. It has a DiMarzio DP123 pickups.
Oh, cool.
It's not stock pickups. It's just amazing. People listen to this bass, they go wild, and I just love it.
I
You
love
know,
it.
my job. I work as a professor at the university, and I am a veterinarian, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it has nothing to do with music, but I need bass. The bass in my life, it's a big part.
Yes.
You know, it's big. It's a
Oh
big
my
part,
God, man.
when
Oh, I
and
wish
there's
you
so
were my
many people like
veterinarian.
me. There's so many people
Yeah, of
like me who have other jobs, other professionals, other
course.
careers,
Yes.
and but have the music is a huge part, you know, and that's I think that's a niche. I don't know if I can call it a niche, but that's a market that SBL got really into, isn't that right? You know, because I think most of the market for SBL, talking about SBL right now, and
Yeah.
it's not only professional musicians or aspiring musicians, but also guys like me that has a regular
Sure.
job, but he wants to keep on developing his musicality and proficiency with the instrument.
Oh, absolutely. I think early on for SBL, everyone sort of perceived it as intermediate to advanced jazz players that wanted to be pros. And what we've found as we've actually, gotten to know our audience more over the time is there are a lot of beginners. We didn't really even serve beginners very well in the beginning, like when
Yeah,
I came on. And that was something that we really tried to change. I did the beginner pathways courses, which are three big long beginner sort of trajectories that are very handheld. And then yes, I agree, there are people that are like hobbyists, and I mean that in just a very sometimes that word can have like a negative connotation or something, but people that play and engage in music and the bass for the joy, for fun. But they're not gonna quit their job and get in a van with a bunch of smelly dudes, and
yeah,
that is off the table, right? These are grown people that want to play this instrument for fun. And sometimes Scott and I need to remind ourselves that it's not all just insane, guys that are just obsessed about, making it their life and their living as we are,
yes,
but it's people that engage in it for the joy of music. And I think that's an incredible person and part of SBL, like that, the person that feels that way.
yeah, and you have a bunch of products there, and I don't know how many. I don't know if you keep a track of this, like how many have people from all over the world you have
Oh yeah.
as a clients?
Yeah.
Do you
I
have these
think
numbers from?
Yeah, I think that there are, including the lifetime members, the people that have paid for a lifetime membership and the month-to-month members, I think it's around 30 or maybe more, 30 to 35,000. It's a lot of folks, a lot
It's
of
a lot
folks
of
from all over
folks.
the world.
That's
Yeah, yep.
yeah, and a huge quality here in the in during the pandemics. Online classes and online courses became a huge thing here
Yes.
because
Same.
they got well. I still got my monthly, my income was okay, but the professional musicians were fucked up. It
Oh, it
was
was
horrible
brutal.
for them because no bars, no gigs.
Oh, it
You
was,
know,
yes, it was
li-
awful. Ivan, I remember looking around at my bass guitars. I mean, I was really scared in the beginning of it, and now we kind of everybody sort of looks back on it with rose-colored glasses, especially if you didn't get super sick or you didn't know someone that
of
passed
course, yeah,
away or right. I mean, obviously it was very, very intense for a lot of people, but
yeah.
for
And the
me,
U.S. and Brazil was
oh,
putting both
so
together were almost 2 million people.
it was crazy. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, it was crazy.
only
I
Brazil
mean,
and the U.S.
oh my God. Yeah. Just awful. But I remember, I got it and had a mild case, but I remember before that, I was looking around at all my dumb bass guitars, in my office and thinking, huh, like maybe these will just be better firewood in the apocalypse. Like maybe these will be zombie skull crackers. Like I really went dark and thinking like, I don't know if anybody's gonna value the instruments anymore because music isn't even happening. And
Yeah,
then what happened is it was the opposite. People started to sign up for SBL like crazy. People started to buy instruments like crazy.
yeah,
People
in
couldn't
Brazil
get
too.
them fast enough. It's
Entry level
insane.
bases and they also
Yes,
expensive bases.
every base, right? It was just like a
The
rush.
used market just went woo skyrocket.
No. It was crazy. I feel like it's come back down to sort of maybe a more manageable place, but man, I mean, it was really interesting and to see like supply chain, so manufacturers couldn't make stuff the way they wanted to, and oh my God, I mean, I talked to a lot of luthiers that were like, it's great, we have all these orders, but we can't fulfill them because we can't get the pots or the aluminum knobs that we use, or it was God,
Yeah,
what a weird, wild
yeah,
time.
it was. We survived.
Yeah, we did. Thank God.
Um, so, and wow, there's so many things I would like to ask. And
Please feel free.
have you been still working do you have any any frequent work as a session player and recording sessions?
A
Or
lot.
because
Yes.
I follow you on Instagram and see a lot of your content. You're playing live every week, isn't that right?
Yeah. I play live. There's four artists that I play with. There's a band called the Orange Goodness. It's a trio, sort of like a funk rock trio that I love. There's a hip hop artist named Dessa that I play with, a singer-songwriter, kind of almost 60s folk-esque called Jeremy Messersmith. And and of course Eric Hutchinson, who I've been the like I'm like, who am I forgetting? Oh, my main gig,
Yeah.
Eric Hutchinson, who I have been the musical director for the last few years. We're going out on the road in the fall. We were just out and did some stuff. That's a trio also right now anyway, and I play all of the leads, like guitar solos and piano solos and things like that on the bass,
Oh,
which
great.
is just an absolute blast. But yeah, those are the four live projects that I have right now. And then I also do a bunch of just remote work. So people send me songs to play on. I do a lot of that from home. But I was just in the studio with an incredible artist from Nairobi, Kenya, named J.S. Ondara,
Oh,
who is
cool. My sister
amazing.
used to
This
live
this
there.
what's that?
My sister used to live in Nairobi, and she said it's an amazing place to be.
Uh,
Have you been
oh,
there?
sorry,
No.
we cut out for a moment there.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Let me see. I have connection. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. I think we're
Yeah.
back. You
We're
said
back.
J.S. Ondara used to
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
somewhere else?
No, because you mentioned Nairobi. It's my sister used to live there, and she said it's an amazing place. The culture in Kenya is just woo, fantastic. Are we off again? Let me check my connection.
Oh, we're cutting in and out. I can't hear you. Sorry.
Can you hear me now? Are we back? Let me try again.
There we go. I think I got you now.
Now, here? Yeah,
I think we're back. Yeah,
we're
there we
back.
go.
We're back. Okay.
We're back. We're
So,
back in
talk.
action.
So let's come back to Nairobi, Kenya, and fantastic artist.
Yeah. JS Mandara, who's amazing. We've done we did an entire record actually. I did an entire record with Jay that was just bass and drums and vocal. And I don't know if that'll come out or what he's going to do with that, but that was really exciting. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff I do. My session career is bigger than it's ever been right now. And then I'm also just making content, doing a lot with different
Yes.
brands. Aguilar, got some stuff coming up with Fender. I'm really excited about. There's a small Canadian company called Island Basses that I've done some stuff for, even doing a little bit with Gibson, Origin Effects. God, I mean, a bunch of stuff, which is so fun. I love making gear related content because I'm a nerd.
Yeah, this we know pretty well.
Yes. Yes.
And how do you talk about, for example, you're invited or got hired to play in someone's recordings. How do you choose your basses, the tones, the kind of texture you want to put? You discussed this previously. You ask the artist what does he or she wants, and do
Yeah.
you have your own preferences in using basses, different basses?
Yes. It's typically now, when I do session stuff, I'm asked to do things that people sort of maybe know me for on the internet. So kind of synthier sounds or grittier rock sounds, emulating synth bass, even some of that sort of like baritone, almost spring reverby guitar stuff that I do. But when someone wants me to do quote unquote my thing, I have go-tos of like, okay, I know what octave pedal there's a 3-leaf octave pedal I love. There's a 3-leaf fuzz that I use. I really like a chorus pedal inside the HX Stomp, right? There's a very tried and true thing, but then when people want like I say like regular bass, it's funny because I don't feel like I'm hired to do regular bass as much as
Yeah.
maybe some other folks are. But when I am, I'm happy to play a P bass. I'm happy to play a Mustang, anything that is going to sort of get the vibe across. So I find that I really like to hear a reference. If someone is hiring me to do something, whether I'm in person with them or whether I'm at home, I want to hear like, what do they like? Whether it's, a Johnny Cash track, or whether it's something like Alison Krauss and Robert Plant, or whether it's the Black Keys, or
Yeah.
I find that I have an easier time understanding the target when they say, oh, kind of like this music. So for me, I'm just trying to listen to as much music as possible, ingest all the greats, but then all the new stuff that's coming out as well to keep really fresh. And I mean, there just aren't enough hours in the day. I just want to play bass and make music constantly. But I'm also married. I have 2 kids. We just have a brand new puppy, right? That's what I was saying. I wish I got to come see you as our veterinarian. Then we could talk bass too. So,
Free consults
I'm trying to
also,
do it all.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to do it all, but I still am very active doing session stuff at home and in studios in Minneapolis. Yeah.
And just for curiosity, what do you use for recording? Because since you have a very particular, you are known for having an identity in your sound, so it
Mm,
doesn't sometimes leave so much room for late plugins. You deliver already a sound that can be, of course, changed a little bit, but you already give a sound, a specific sound. So what do you use for recording? You
shoot.
mentioned the pedals, but do you use
Yeah.
DIs and amps, or put both together? You send 2 tracks. How do you
Okay.
do
Yes.
this?
I missed the front part of that, but I think I got it. Saying like, what do I use to send tracks? Typically, I like to commit if I'm going for a sound, a very specific, gritty sound or a synthy-esque sound or that baritone thing that I do, I'm printing those effects. I'm very rarely sending a clean DI as well. And there are times when producers will ask for, can you send us something clean as well? But the producers that I like to work for the best are the people that are not afraid to print and to let the idea just happen. I love that because I think, if I'm using a synthy sound, sending the DI sound with no effects on it won't make any sense. Like, unless they're trying to then put plugins on it after the fact. Ugh. But typically, I just send direct tracks because I'm finding now that producers have all the saturation stuff, all the amp emulators that they like to use. If someone specifically requests miking up a B15, I've got that. I can do that. Or they really want like a mic'd amp character, I'm happy to do both, sending a DI signal, sending a mic'd amp signal. But typically, I run through a Noble DI that I love, and that goes into, I have Neve 1073 preamps that I really like. And honestly, to me, that's the business. And then if they want to then throw it through some emulation, they can. But again, if it's like, oh, we want that SVT sound or something, I will maybe try to dial that up in the HX Stomp or mic and amp in a way that gets sort of gritty in that character. But for me, it's more about sending a printed sound that I've really carefully curated to make great, that really fits in the track, to, in my opinion. And then sometimes they want something different and we pivot and change it. But a lot of times it works great. And and they keep calling me back, which I'm grateful.
That's great. And we are talking a lot about business, and I would like to ask you, how did you get into business in a more professional level? Do you went to a music school because you must have some proficiency, or during high school you joined the high school band, or? And I would like to ask you about your trajectory, the early days,
yes.
to get ready to face the tasks of a pro.
I think it's so much about loving every day of it and then being committed to doing it for decades. It's interesting because like I'll have young guys ask me this, like, oh man, guys in their 20s, they're like 26 and they'll be like, oh, how do you get a gig? And and I'm like, bro, I didn't get my first like really exciting professional touring gig until I was like 36. I was kind of late. So for me, what it was is I got really excited about the instrument as a teenager. I was in a band. That was my whole focus. I was just like laser tunnel vision focused on doing this original project. That ended and I was like, oh, well, what's next? I'm going to play with everyone I can. And then I was doing wedding gigs, church gigs, blues gigs, country gigs, rock gigs, hip hop gigs, anything I could do in Minneapolis just because I genuinely liked it. It wasn't like
10,000 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not, the thing about the 10,000 hour thing is, for some people it sounds like, oh my God, 10,000 hours and I have to devote all this time and oh, that's going to be such a slog. For me, it was just life. It's what I wanted to do. I just always want to have a bass in my hands, always. So it's hard when people ask me specifically about like, how do I do it? I'm like, if you haven't, if you're not just already doing it, it might be a bad sign. Or like, because a lot of times people think that like being an artist is going to be amazing. And the thought of it sounds great, but the reality for some people is very different, right? Like if you don't absolutely love it, like someone was asking me like, oh, how do I stay motivated to practice? Like sometimes I get home from work and I don't even want to pick up my bass. And I'm like, for me, the bass is a vacation. Like picking up a bass is like the thing that I want to do the most. And not even necessarily practicing, but just playing licks and having it in my hands and, being with the instrument is like a vacation. So for me, it was never this thing of like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to have to work really hard and that's going to be a drag. It was just the thing I did day in and day out because I loved it. So I guess when I started to play with other people, I tried to do a very good job at each gig. I have a thing of make your yes your yes. If you say yes to a gig, you have to crush it. You have to prepare so much. You have to make them never even want to consider hiring another bass player or, to the best of your ability, right? You crush that gig. They mention you to someone else. You are, or someone at that gig is like, oh man, you'd be great in this. That's how I got the Eric Hutchinson gig. I did a $50 gig. There was a MD keyboard player there named Elliot Bloffus who saw me and was like, man, I would love to hire you as a sub for Eric Hutchinson. I was like, I love Eric Hutchinson. Are you kidding me? That'd be great. And if I would have come into that $50 gig and sucked or been like, oh, it's only $50, so I'm only going to put in $50 of work, it never would happen, right? So it's just about prioritization, honestly. It's about how you prioritize things in your life. And I think for me, it was just never an option to do anything else. It was like I just had to do this. And so it was every single opportunity I was thrilled. Like, oh my God, I'm going to get to play that tour. I'm going to crush it. Oh my God, I'm going to get to go overseas and make that music with this artist. Like, I was always excited to do it. And those were the things that enthusiasm and that work makes employers or artists happy and they want to work with you and then they'll recommend you. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I love when I hear this kind of speech about passion, about commitment, and about discipline. And I heard once that motivation is for suckers. You got to have discipline, because it's not every day that you wake up and say, oh, I have to take a 3-hour bus trip to play in a $50 gig and then 3 hours back. Sometimes you're really not motivated for that, but you must have discipline. And as I mentioned, I'm a veterinary. I went to vet school and then did my master's, my PhD, and got my job, my position as a professor at the university. And it's the same.
Of course.
Motivation. Of course, I love what I do. I don't love every part of things. I love to teach. I love to go to my classes and talk to the student, but I hate exams. I hate giving fucking grades. Because I was the guy that always got C's and B's because I was my head was always going around in circles. ADHD thing, and in every career and in music too, and especially here in Brazil, we discuss this a lot. There's still this romantic thing that you're going to be an artist and everything the opportunities will come since you just have to be creative, and that's a lot of hard work. That's a lot of hard work. You didn't become this famous bass guy on the internet from out of the blue. It's a lot of hard work. You work a lot in content. Since I found out the podcast with Scott pretty recently, about 1 month. And then I said, whoa, you're doing this for a long time, and it's not easy to find things to talk about bass all the time. We love bass. We can stay here talking about bass for hours. But and in the I think in bass talk this is kind of same in talk bass. And in the Brazilian bass forum is that sometimes we discuss it so much about bass and people start to talk about other things, in the forum, in the bass forum, because we're not talking about unpacking. Okay, Fender has a new line, a new product. Oh, it's the same shit. There's nothing really new. It's another bass with a J neck. Come on, how I know. But then we discuss how difficult it is to Fender, who has very you have these iconic designs to bring new stuff. I can
Of
imagine
course.
that if you work at Fender, you work in the innovation department of Fender, guitars, and then okay, let's make a new bass. I said, the fuck, we tried this in the '80s and it sucks. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
right.
in the '80s Fenders, the different ways was like Ibanez kind of
Oh yeah,
strange.
the
It's not,
performer, the
they're
katana.
good, but in the end, people want to pee jazz, and
Yeah, of course.
it's complicated for a company like Fender, like Gibson too. Another
Oh
Les
yeah.
Paul, come on. How to
Yeah.
reinvent yourself, being
Yeah. I mean, I guess we think about that, or I think about that in content too. Like there is always though a refresh of pool of players. So, as we get older, like as I get older, I'm like, oh, come on, Fender. Yeah, you've put out a lot of jazz basses and P basses. But to a kid coming up that sees, I think Troy Sanders from Mastodon, or like when I was, like the Blink 182 Mark Hoppus bass,
yeah.
that's kind of new. So like for me, like an old timer now, I'm, oh my God, I've seen it come around the block a million times. But those companies are smart because their Fender is really smart. They are leveraging their brand legacy, so they know what works, and
Yeah.
they're not trying to reinvent the wheel for the 40-year-old. They're trying to make something exciting that still has brand heritage to the 14-year-old, to the 19-year-old, to the 24-year-old. And I think it's a lot of repetition then. And it's funny, Scott and I talk about this with videos. He's like, hey, look, if we've made a video at SBL a year ago, we can make it again. Because you think, oh yeah, everybody has seen these videos, but no, even with a million subscriber platform, on YouTube, not all of those people have seen all the videos. In
Of
fact, it's sort
course.
of narcissistic to think so. So, we're kind of like, hey, we can repeat this message a lot, and there will be some people that have seen it all and go, oh God,
Yeah.
you guys, come
Okay.
on.
Again.
Yeah, but my guess is you're probably not going to go through the backlog of, 50 some
Yeah.
episodes of the
I
podcast.
have been done already. For my YouTube channel, it's just 5K. 5,000
Yeah,
subscribers, and because it's very niche, it's for Brazilian bass players,
sure, sure.
and I have already done 140 videos about different basses, bass
Sure.
models.
Yes. Wow.
140. It's a lot.
Incredible.
And sometimes I
Yes.
have, what should I say again? I'm not. I did. I think more than 12 different Fender jazzes.
Sure.
What else should I do?
I know. Yeah, I
It's
know.
difficult. It's difficult, but that's the topic we like. We love it
Yeah,
to talk about this.
sure. And I think too that as you do it, your taste will change too. And like the thing that Scott and I feel like we just never run out of things to say because we're always doing something new. So I might have found an old P bass that, we've talked about a million times, but I found a new way to play it on a track and we talk about that. Or he's getting ready to do this album and he's rekindled his love with fretless. And so we talk about that. And it just, as long as you're doing something, it's constantly you I think you always have something to talk about. And remembering too that the talking points that seem stale to you might not be stale at all to, someone first listening. Like I sort of hesitated to tell that basketball story at the beginning of this because I thought, oh shit, I've told that story a lot. But maybe not to Brazil, not to the Brazilian bass players that hang out and follow you, right? So I think it's important to keep that in mind that like just because you've said it doesn't mean it has been heard.
And sometimes the best classes are the one that we wanted to attend again.
Yeah, right. That's right.
It's very common that I heard sometimes that some TED talks are repeatedly watched by the same people over and over. Like, oh, man, I gotta listen to this message again because we are
Yes,
not only talking about bass. In the end,
that's
we're
right.
talking about life
That's absolutely right.
experience. We're
Yes.
talking about emotions. And that's
Yes.
the beauty. We are not, I think if we were discussing about how they create, how they make the pavements of the runway track for the planes,
Yeah. Yeah.
this would be the case. But we're talking about music, about art, and there's
Yeah. Right.
passion, there are emotions, there are personal stories, history, personal stories. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Mixing with all this, and that's what makes so beautiful to talk about this.
Oh,
And for
it is.
example,
Yeah.
my
Absolutely.
videos, I'm in Brazil. It's not so easy for a typical Brazilian teenager to buy a Fender, a second-hand Fender
Right.
bass. Man, they will buy
Right.
a Chinese brand or a Brazilian brand who imports everything from China and set up here, and that will cost
Yep.
about $50, $80. So, and
Got it.
I have already done a review, a bass demo of a heater bass, and I
Yeah.
interviewed Jens Heater for my channel, and it was amazing. And
Oh, cool.
it's a price of a car here.
Yes, of course.
You
Yeah.
know, it's
Of
it's
course.
incredible. And
Yeah.
but they watch it. But my most watched videos are cheap bases, and I
Yeah.
love to make cheap bases. And I say, okay, this is good, this is not good, and they write to me and say, Ivan, you are so honest because you're not comparing to a Fender Elite or a custom
Right.
shop
Sure.
or a fancy
Yes, of
boutique
course.
bass. You put the bass, the quality of the gear in contest, and
Right. Yep.
that I think that's something that we have to think about, when we consider, because
Absolutely.
you and Scott had a great chat about boutique bases, but this is far away from
Yeah.
from the young guys that are learning, even in the US. I know that in the US you also
You're
have
totally
very
right.
discrepancies in
Oh, of
income and
course.
family.
Yeah.
Sometimes most of the
And
kids will play for the first time on a bass or on any instrument at the church, you know,
yeah, of
because
course.
the church
Yes.
has a bass, has an amp there,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, and it's preposterous to think that someone that isn't a professional or is going to spend $8,000 on a bass guitar. Like that's ridiculous. I mean, and even when I was playing professionally in my 20s, I remember saying to someone, "I'll never spend more than $2,000 on a bass ever. I just won't do it." And then that changed. Like the more you do it, and the more you get into it, and the more it becomes what you do, you're like, "Oh, $5,000? Yeah, that can justify that." But I think you're right. Sometimes the head of content, we work with this woman named Lydia Reynolds. She says, remember, you guys, not everybody is trying to buy a wall or an old Fender or, like a custom shop. Like,
Fodera, yeah.
yeah, exactly, exactly. We make a lot of content about that stuff because Scott and I both have really, expensive tastes and we prioritize our lives. And, we'd way rather buy a bass than an upgrade to our home or our car or, but not everybody feels that way, right? And so I think it's actually really a good reminder that we need to also focus on the stuff that we think is really good, that's inexpensive.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's a good shout.
yeah. That makes a huge difference, and because you bring a new you reach a different audience,
Yeah, definitely.
and especially in Brazil, the religious, the how can I say that, the church market. I don't
Yes.
know how to say that,
No,
but
I know. It's
yeah,
similar in the
yeah,
States.
it's huge. It's huge, and
Yep.
and 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 the, the, the musicians that play in churches, they they are responsible for a big part of the music instrument business here in Brazil.
Of course. They've
It's
got the
so
money to buy
so
stuff for
from
Sunday.
time to time, I always try to be open because there are some prejudice sometimes, you know, and
Sure.
um, but I try to be very open to, especially women too. Where
Of
are
course.
the
Yeah.
women bass bassists.
Right.
Here in Brazil, it's so hard. But now I'm also interviewing Brazilian, and I interviewed a fantastic. You gotta know this girl. Her name is Clara Cantore. She's from Argentina, and
cool.
she plays and sings beautifully. I can send you some links.
Send me a link.
Clara Cantore. I interviewed her in Spanish, and she was so sweet. And it was. I also interviewed Julia Hoffer.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah. Julia. Yeah. It was also amazing.
She's great.
And my goal was to, okay, girls, if you want to play bass, you can play bass. You can play bass for fun. You can you can have a career, because especially here in Brazil, we're discussing this a lot. To be inclusive, just kind of.
Well, oh my God. I mean, and not to minimize it is such a dude dominated world, but all of the female bass players that I know in Minneapolis all play. They all have cool gigs, because it's also sort of like, oh, wow, you're a girl bass player. Yeah. There's something about that fills certain roles or niches where, someone wants to build an all female band, or they want just gender diversity in their band. And yeah, I tell my kids all the time. I have a daughter, and I'm like, oh, Everly, you got to play the bass, like, or drums, bass or drums. And then, you'll get hired forever, of course, if you're good. But yeah, I think, what I think about the gender thing is I just think it's representation. I think there haven't been historically a large volume of female bass players that are cool. So, when little girls look to see like, oh, what should I be doing? If you don't see it represented, it's sort of like, oh, that's kind of a dude thing. And it's not. There was a girl that was telling me this. They're like, it's not that we think, oh, we can't do it. Oh no. Oh, we can't do it because they're male barriers. No, they're like, it's stupid. It's a dumb guy thing. That's what it is. Yeah. It's not that, like, oh, we can't and we want to. Oh my God, we want to. They're like, no, that's nerdy as fuck, and we don't want to do that. And that cracked me up. But there's, it's changing. Do you know Blue to Tiger?
No.
Oh man, Blue to Tiger, session musician who now has her own thing. It's BLU DETIGER, and she's phenomenal. I mean, she's probably 1 million plus on TikTok. She's in her early 20s, maybe mid 20s, and there are so many young girls that want to play because of her. Also, like Layla Sneary, who has a really great channel on Instagram. There are a lot of amazing female bass players that are coming up. So I think it's slowly but surely, just the ship is moving. But
just like going to the VAT school here in Brazil in the 60s, it was in a class, it was like 30 men and 2 girls. And now if you go to any veterinary school in Brazil or even in Germany, it's like 80% women.
Wow, it really turned.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, it reminds me, it reminds me of the Pinterest thing. Do you guys have Pinterest over there? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So Pinterest boards, which are now kind of passé, but when they were really, really hot, how many, like for instance, Ivan, did you have a Pinterest board?
No. Of course not. I have an account, but no.
Of course not. Do you know any of your friends that were really into Pinterest?
Yeah.
No, because for whatever reason, it became like a girl thing. And it's not that that men weren't allowed right? It was like representation. We don't see people that we associate with there, so we just aren't there.
Yeah.
There was a girl that was telling me, she's like, you know why there aren't like a ton of super nerdy lead guitar playing women? It's because there's just no representation. There's a few, but there's just, it's not that we can't, it's just that it's a dude thing, and it's this nerdy dude thing. But I get such a kick out of that because I'm like, oh yeah, I never had a Pinterest board, so
it will, and I believe it's changed, and I think channels like yours and mine, of course, in different dimensions. But I think we're doing what we can, to show okay, if you want it, that's a path that you can take.
And it's an amazing path. It's an amazing path.
It is.
It's an
Even
incredible
for me,
life.
who's not a professional, it's an
Yeah,
amazing
man.
path.
It is. Yeah, for sure.
Ian, I would like to thank you so much. I think I could spend the whole day talking to you, but I have
such
to
a treat.
board. I have a plane to catch. I have 2
Incredible.
kids waiting for me at home.
Thank you so much for your flexibility on the time, and it's amazing that you did this in the airport. Big ups for that, man. You're amazing.
No,
Thank
it was
you
great. I really wanted because my colleagues here in the forum and my channel, they always mention your videos, and because you bring different textures, you bring different tones, and you bring, your sledgehammer video showing, okay, you have a fretless, come on, that's all you need. Or if you don't have a fretless, turn on the tone knob, and where to get the peak,
all that,
octaver, and be happy. and thank you a lot for your time, and please keep on doing your content. It's amazing. Greetings to Scott. I hope someday I manage to talk with him for my channel. I think my audience will love, because of course the language barrier is a problem, not only for Brazilians, but all over the globe. We have this idea that everybody speaks English, but it's not true.
Of course not.
I would do my part here. We'll put Portuguese subtitles to help them to enjoy this conversation. And again, thank you so much, and have a pleasant weekend.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much, Ivan. Hope to speak to you again.
Okay. Bye.
All right.
See you.
Bye.
Pessoal, espero que vocês tenham curtido mais uma entrevista aqui no Baixos e Baixarias. Cara, tá sendo muito legal poder entrevistar essa galera toda. E essa galera toda eu entrevisto porque eu tenho um canal com mais de 5.000 inscritos, além do peso do Fórum Contra Baixo BR. Então, vocês fortalecendo o canal me ajuda a conquistar esses objetivos, que é chamar gente muito legal para entrevistar. E se você tiver ideia de algum baixista internacional, que eu posso trocar uma ideia em inglês ou em espanhol com eles e botar aqui as legendas em português, me dá um toque, me manda uma mensagem que eu corro atrás e vejo se eu consigo descolar essa entrevista. Mas lembre-se, se o canal chegar a 10 mil, 15 mil, 20 mil, eu tenho mais poder para conversar com esses caras. Então, me ajudem a deixar o canal cada vez mais forte, beleza? Fiquem bem e continue com o groove na ponta dos dedos. Valeu!